Queen.
I don't think you believe that. Can I say it again?
Big side, YouTube. Thank you, Ed.
That's all. Yeah.
All right, gang. Miss Leia, excellent one. Queen, it is yours.
Perfect. Okay. Welcome, everyone. We are so happy to have you all here. I'd like to start off with a land acknowledgement, and we'll take a moment to honor these ancestral grounds that we are collectively gathered upon and support the resilience and strength that all Indigenous people have shown worldwide. I'm currently joining today online from my home, which is on the traditional unceded territory of the Kumeyaay people in San Diego. So yeah, welcome everyone to the NAACP and SDCOE Celebration of Black Excellence, session number 3. I'm Zalia Henderson, and I'm so excited to be one of your moderators of this great celebration of Black excellence in our community. With me is Ms. Hamilton, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Zalia, so much. I can't take the place of Malik Palmore, but here today we're going to be talking about Black excellence, and Malik has a midterm today, so he was unable to be our moderator, and so I am filling in. I am the current education chair for the NAACP San Diego branch.
Thank you. Yeah, Malik was so amazing to have, but I'm so grateful that we have you here as well. Yeah, we have a wonderful session planned with some amazing students. If you guys want to take some time to introduce yourselves and kind of give us your name, grade, school, or how you identify and why or how you would like to honor this panel. Maybe let's start with Amira. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Amira Moore.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amira Moore. I'm a third-year student at SSU. I'm studying advertising, and I'm also minoring in interdisciplinary studies. I haven't chosen my study yet, but I'll be coming soon. I'm the current public relations chair on the African Student Union Council at SSU, and also the African Student Excellence Council at SSU as well. So I'm very honored to be on this panel, just with everyone, all these successful Black people. I look up to all of you, even though I just met you all recently. It's just such an honor and blessing, and just happy to be here during this month as we celebrate Black excellence. So thank you guys all for having me.
Thank you. So excited to have you here. Next, could we have Victoria introduce herself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Owusu. I'm a third-year student at City College, and I study pre-med. And I'm also the president of the Associated Student Government and also the student trustee. And I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to listen to everyone's excellence. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, really, thank you. Next, could we have Jasmine introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jasmine Matthews. I go to the Troy School UCSD in La Jolla. I'm a junior, and this school caters from 6 to 12 and towards lower income people of color communities. And I'm very excited to be talking today at this panel. And yeah.
Perfect, thank you so much. Next, if Jaden could go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Jaden Brewer. I go to Olympian High School. I'm a senior. I'm part of the CSE committee, and I feel very honored to be on this panel.
Happy to have you here. Thank you, Jaden. And lastly, but not least, if Khalil could introduce himself.
Hello, my name is Khalil. I'm at Morse High School. I'm the treasurer of our BSU, and I'm very grateful for this experience.
Perfect, thank you. I'm not sure, it says my connection is unstable, so if I cut out, I'm so sorry, I will hop back in. But I have a few questions for all of you guys today, and I'll start with just an open one, whoever wants to answer. But just tell us about yourself and what plans you have for the near future.
And before you do that, I just want Dawson to introduce himself as well. I'm sorry, Zalia.
Hi, yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's my Zoom name. I'm Dawson Jones. I also go by Kaiser, as you can see there. I'm vice president for the Morris BSU along with Khalil, and I'm also vice president of the Morris GSA. And it's great to be here.
So sorry about that. I'm so happy to have you here. Also, is Kaiser your nickname? That's a really, really cool nickname.
Yeah, it's just the name I prefer to go by.
No one can pronounce Zalia, so I just tell people to call me Z, but I feel like your nickname is a lot cooler.
Thank you.
But yeah, so if anyone wants to answer, just tell us about yourself and any future plans you might have. Honestly, all of you guys can answer, just take turns or popcorn, but yeah, whoever wants to start.
I think I'll go. I came here in the United States back in 2016 from West Africa, Ghana, and at City College studying pre-med. And my future goal is to become a physician assistant. But for now, I'm praying to get into my dream school. I actually have two of them, UCLA or UC Davis. So hopefully I get to hear from them soon and go there next fall. Yeah.
I am also very stressed for the UC decisions coming out in March. So I'm totally with you and good luck to you. I'm praying that you get into both of the schools. But if anyone else would like to answer, here's your time.
I can go next. So yeah, I came into SSU a kinesiology major. Like that's what I was thinking I was gonna do, and I ended up switching my major. It was like my third time switching my major, so I'm advertising now. And I just like realized that like I have a passion to work in the fashion industry. So I'm currently applying to internships. So I applied at Guess and Saks Fifth Avenue. So hopefully I get that. But my goals after college, I want to move to New York or London and complete like an intensive fashion styling. Like it's kind of like a master's program for fashion. And so I want to do that either New York or London after school and hopefully land something working at some type of brand design or styling or like creative designer or something like that. But yeah.
I'll go next. I'm Jaden Brewer. I'm in high school right now, so I'm looking to go to college. I'm either gonna want to go to Baylor or LSU. I got accepted into both, and I'd like to study business administration. And then in the near future, hopefully, I'd like to own my own business. At the moment, I don't know what that business would be centered around, but it's still in the works.
I'll go next. I'm still in high school, but eventually I hope to go to Europe and study for culinary university. Or if I can't do that, I'll just go into like political science or something. I'm not exactly sure what university I want to go to, but that's definitely something. Both of those things are something I'd like to pursue. So
I'm also in school, but I hope to pursue a career in sports journalism out of high school and go to college, of course, and just better myself.
For me, I'm hoping that after high school, I can attend UCLA or USC for film studies because I'm interested in becoming a film producer.
So many diverse jobs. I love this group. Okay. I know I want to kind of direct this towards the high schoolers just for me personally, but especially since it's so hard to find this in high school with so much chaos. But I know we have the three boys here. You guys are all still in high school, correct? So if any of you guys want to take this question or if anyone else wants to hop on the question, but just what brings you joy and are you able to find this joy in your school or in your community or like where do you turn to for that?
Well, for me, I can personally say I just moved to Morris within the last year. I think I transferred over in November. And although I'm new and there is a lot of chaos in high school, of course, meeting a lot of new people, including Boston, has really helped me a lot from the experience I had in my old school. I also have a really strong support system at home, so that's another place I can find joy in my life. But school is definitely a part of that for me.
yeah, no, I definitely enjoy school. You know, it has its ups and downs, of course, but the overall experience at Morse is pretty uniform. It's pretty nice. There's a sizable population of African Americans there, which I never really got because I used to live in North County. And I would usually go to like a predominantly white / Hispanic school. So to be around a lot of Black people and being able to like share my creative ideas and not be shunned away for it or be seen as different is really great.
I think for me, obviously my family brings me a lot of joy every day. My friends, education is a big part in that because I mean it's part of your future. At the end of the day, it needs to be joyous for you. But obviously you have your activities such as playing video games that brings you joy at the end of the day.
Jasmine, do you want to go ahead and answer too? Because I know you're in high school.
Yeah, I'll answer. Some things that bring me joy include my friends and also just express myself through art because I am really passionate about all different art forms, including film and music and everything like that. And, you know, at my school, there is a smaller population of Black students, and I'm one of 11 Black students in my own grade. And so, you know, it can be really difficult sometimes to feel like accepted or really just in like in a really good space for yourself. It can be kind of scary, but I have good supportive friends and I have a great family that I can lean on for that.
Thank you for your answers. And just going off of that question for the students in college, how did you guys find that joy, or where did you look for while transitioning from high school to college? Like how did you make that transition, or where did you turn to when you just like needed some peace?
I can definitely go for this. Just starting out, like I'm from the Bay Area, so like that transition from moving from the Bay to San Diego was a big culture shock for me. And then on top of that, like attending a predominantly white institution, obviously we all kind of know like that comes with its challenges, kind of like facing identity crisis, like feeling like you don't belong or don't fit in. Like those same feelings are gonna happen at college, so it kind of doesn't go away. But I felt joy and found joy with getting involved with the Black community. Like I can speak for, I don't know like all schools, but I can speak for SSU. We have the Black Resource Center, which is like our cultural center. We have ASU, which I'm a part of. There's so many just like organizations from like, if you want to be an engineer, if you want to go into law, like there's something for everybody. So just really just kind of looking in myself, be like, okay, like you can't stay in this shell forever. Like we're all in this together. So just like reaching out to the Black community. And that's like, I found my home away from home. So it was really nice, like my little family down in San Diego. So that gave me a lot of joy.
For me, I went into college like after being in the States for 2 years. So, and I'm a first generation college student. So I basically had to navigate everything on my own. So what brought me peace was finding a group of individuals that represents me, that I can feel welcome and fit in. So joining Emoja Club at my school, which is for Black students and Black heritage, was one thing that helped me a lot.
Thank you for that. Thank you guys. Great answers. Here's another question from the audience. So based on your own experiences and brilliance, what advice do you have for students who may be struggling in school to find these support networks? How would you encourage them to reach out or connect with their community?
I can take this one. So for me, what it was when I was going up to a predominantly white school was to find people. Like it may sound rudimentary, but like in those type of schools, and maybe Jasmine can relate to this, but you find the Black people and y'all kind of stick together because like y'all are the only people there and all of y'all are going through the same thing. Like I literally got slurred up there so many times that it was unbelievable, but it was like I found other people that were also getting treated like that. So it was like strength in numbers is pretty much what it is. And I got down here and I got into a BSU as soon as I could, because I knew that if I did, I would not necessarily be like safe, but it would be a safer environment for me to be myself in. And up there, I couldn't really be myself because I had to conform to what they wanted me to be. And looking back on that, I shouldn't have conformed so easily, but you know, it's one of those things where if you're up there long enough, it eventually gets to you. So Advice is just to basically find people that are going through the same thing that you're going through, because they know, like they know, and they're going to be able to share their knowledge with you and their experiences with you, and you can learn together.
Okay, thank you so much for answering. I think that was a perfect response. I know for our school where I currently go, I'm the president of our Black Student Union, so I'm constantly trying to find any single kid on campus and them in, because I know that it's so easy to try and conform to, everyone else around you. I think there's exactly 72 Black students at our school, and we have a population of 3,600. So we are a very, very tiny, tiny group on campus. So we like to just, keep each other safe and and while we're doing that, kind of educate those around us as well and kind of set a standard. So really appreciate that answer. Next, if anyone would like to answer, but what would you say are the most important things educators can do to help see and cultivate your excellence and the excellence of other Black students?
Well, for me, my experience with my teachers hasn't always been the most positive. I don't think it was up until I got to Morse and my African American literature teacher, Miss Taylor, that I ever had a teacher that really cultivated my learning and made me want to go out and learn on my own. I don't really want to place the blame on educators, though. I think it's more the education system, because I don't think we could blame those people, because they have to do their job at the end of the day. A lot of the time teachers want to teach things, but they just can't because of the way they have to teach things.
Yeah, to piggyback on what Khalil said, I think it's not just, as well, like he said, like not just educators, but education system. I think like for educators, I think just taking a chance on your students. I know like in high school and even when I got to college, I was very closed off, and it wasn't until I would really say like I felt like someone like cared about me is like when I got to SSU. Unfortunately she's not here anymore, but Dr. Reddick, I remember like I would go into like our Black Resource Center and I was always so quiet, and she just like asked me like, how are you? Like that was like the first time like a teacher's asked me like how am I doing? So I think taking a chance on your students and also just like prioritizing their mental health, like from there, like when you feel comfortable and secure in your mental health, then you can flourish as a student. And I think like as an educator, you like need to guide students on their journey to that, and like also just like help building their confidence and so on. So yeah.
I think it's just, at the end of the day, it's allowing kids to be creative, doing assignments that they want to do. Obviously, I know education wise, you can't always do that. You have to follow a specific criteria, but I think it's allowing kids to do assignments on stuff they really want to, because they'll put their all into doing that, taking like an assignment on, video games. I'll put my all into that because I love doing that, compared to Shakespeare. I mean, Shakespeare's cool and all, but I'll put my effort into it, but maybe not as much.
Thank you guys. Thank you for all your answers. Another question, this kind of goes off of what you guys were talking about previously, but if you have any mentors or anyone that's seen your brilliance and guided you along the path, who was that person and like what did they specifically do to you? I know, or do for you. I know that Amira or Mora, is it Amira or Mora?
It's Amira.
Was I saying it correct before?
Yeah, you were saying it right.
Okay,
No,
I'm so
right.
sorry. My brain is everywhere. Yes, Amira,
No,
I know you mentioned the person who was helping you just by asking, how are you? So I know it can be literally as simple as that, but anyone that's kind of helped guided you on the way. Yeah.
I'd like to answer this question. So one person that kind of was there for me and kind of saw something in me was my counselor who's in the room with me, Ms. Cobbs. She is one of our new administrators at my school in the past year, and one of the new Black administrators at that. And she has just created a nice and safe environment for me, a safe space for me to talk about whatever's going on in my personal life, academically, and just having another Black figure on campus, whereas before there might have been 2 to 3 actual people on campus that were adults or teachers that I could turn to ask questions. But no, and she has even helped me apply to summer programs. She has helped point me into different schools that I should look into. And so, yeah, that's one person that I really appreciate.
For me, I'll say it's my counselor, and also she's the head of the Moja Club at City College. Her name is Dr. Charles, and I always call her my second mom because literally I have her number and she always calls me, check up on me. She literally does everything for me, applying to school, FAFSA, and everything. So I'll say she's like that one person that I always go to. Yeah.
I think I'm speaking for me and Khalil here because we have the same African American literature teacher, and I'm sure we feel the same about her. If Khalil wants to speak on this differently, he can. But our African American literature teacher, Miss Taylor, who really, I don't know, it's nice to have someone who's like-minded to speak to when you have such a which would be something that would be considered to be a strange mind by people that aren't really Black. Like I said, I grew up around a lot of Caucasian people, and you kind of the way that you think, and when you see videos like Malcolm X and this and that, and when you get trained in that type of thing about your parents, your environment is foreign to you, and the people around you kind of think that you're that you think weird about politics and stuff like that. So having someone like Miss Taylor to talk to who really understood what I was saying and where I was coming from with certain things was really nice to finally hear, because I never really had that in any of my teachers. And she's really the second Black teacher that I've had ever. So the first one was really good as well. But she's really doing a great job with me, and I absolutely love her with my whole heart and soul.
Yeah, I can definitely piggyback off that. Miss Taylor really allows for us to learning and kind of it's never she's teaching, not that she's not teaching us, but it's always an active discussion between both parties. And she's always also willing to learn as a teacher from us. And I think that's something that a lot of teachers don't really do nowadays.
We are all prey to the connectivity. It's all right, Khalil. Keep going. Y'all are doing fantastic.
Yes, you are. Thank you. So I will ask the next question, and then when Khalil is able to, when his connectivity kicks back in, we'll go back to Khalil. But what does Black excellence mean to all of you? We'll start, go ahead, Victoria, yes.
I think I'll go first. I'll say, to me, Black excellence means going to board meetings and looking around the room and seeing that I'm one of the few Black people in the room. That's what Black excellence means to me. It also means that me being a Black student and also an African who is the president of a whole college. And Black students also mean being in my science class and working up to the board, being the only Black student in my OChem class, and being able to solve a question without being judged or anything. Yeah.
I can piggyback off of that. I think Black excellence is me. Black excellence is everyone on this panel. the fact that we're even in the position to have this panel, I think would make our ancestors just extremely proud. Like we're conquering so many leaps and bounds that couldn't like, they wouldn't even have like thought that they could do back then. So I think that that perseverance is Black excellence, despite everything we've gone through from slavery, Jim Crow to like the Black Lives Matter movement. Now we're still here. We're still in like positions of power. We still have our voice and we still keep our integrity and self-respect for ourselves. So that's what Black excellence means to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like how Amir said, I also believe that like just the ability to survive in America as a Black person is great. Like it's excellent, but to excel, to succeed in something when you have all of the odds stacked against you, you know what I mean? Like it's just wonderful because like usually when you're faced with a challenge, you know, you doubt yourself, you do this and that. And that's just kind of something that I never see with Black people. I mean, of course, we're all human and we all have these emotions, but they don't really let it show. They kind of just push through all that and keep going and keep going and keep going. And that's really great because, you know, we really have the spirit of our ancestors. You know, we survived 400 years of slavery and we pushed through all of that, and we went through like Amira said, we went through Jim Crow, we went through the, you know, the whole 60s, we went through a whole bunch of stuff, and we're still here. We made it out and we're still intact, and we still have great minds that all are able to conversate and do this and do that without problems.
I'd also like to add that I believe Black excellence is kind of like what Dawson was saying, it's just having that determination and perseverance to just pursue anything that you want to do and to just always like kind of defy the odds that are stacked against you no matter what, because I know that it can be very challenging and very discouraging to pursue what you actually want to do for the sake of having something safe over than what you like your dream job or something like that. And so I think Black excellence is just being able to pursue what you want to do and not worry about what other people are trying to make you conform to what you need to be or something like that.
For me, Black excellence is just, I mean, it's you being you at the end of the day. It's your personality traits, your characteristics, your talents. Black excellence is you, you know, what you want to do with that, what you do for your community. Obviously that's, you know, that's excellence, but it's you being, what you bring to your community and you just being there. It's just excellent.
Excellent. And I know Khalil is back. Give him an opportunity. Khalil, what does Black excellence mean to you?
Black excellence to me is just being yourself. Don't feel like you conform to anything or anyone. Just being you in your pure form, whatever that may be.
Excellent, excellent, Khalil. Thank you. And I think this goes into our next question too. You know, what can schools do to best support you in your journey? And I know that there are a lot of things that are happening. Just the fact that many of you are either at school or at home and you're online, you know, and you're still here with us, you know, experiencing connectivity issues. We all have those connectivity issues. But what can schools do to best support you in your journey, especially given the fact that many of your teachers, counselors, and staff members may not be Black, right? So we know that, you know, we need more Ms. Cobbs and Ms. Watsons and others who are on this call. But how can your non-Black teachers, counselors, and staff members also best support you?
For like non-Black educators like getting involved in Black students' life, I think just showing up to our events. Like I know for high schools, you probably have BSU events. I know in college we have Black History events. We have meetings every week. So just seeing like those educators like come to those meetings, it's not a lot, but when they do come, it's like you care. And just like, it's like just that taking that extra step to like show that like your life matters to me, your education matters to me. So I'm going to make that a priority. So I think making students a priority in their life and not just like, you know what, I'm here to, you know, make my money. I know like we all have a job, like, but just taking that extra step and spending more time to get to know the students, to know the students' life, and also just immersing yourself in the culture. I know there's like kind of a difference between appropriation and appreciation, but actually appreciating the culture that we come from. And then kind of also forming your curriculum around that. Black students are not going to learn like white students or other ethnicities. So tailoring your curriculum to reach all students in the classroom.
For me, I'll say getting more resources to help us, and also looking into our mental health, because as a Black student, I feel like sometimes you go to mental health and there's this stereotype or this stigma around Black students going to mental health. So I feel like they should be more careful, and like it's just how you receive us. That's all we want. Like receive us as you receive other students.
Yeah. When it comes to like non-Black educators and things like that, the only thing that I can really say is to educate yourself, because ignorance is 100% a choice. You don't have to be ignorant on topics like Black history and things like that. And there's so many teachers that I've had that just didn't know, like teachers that didn't even know who Nat Turner was, or who, like there's people in my class that don't even know who Malcolm X is. So the fact that like we have people roaming around who don't know who these dominant Black figures are, but they know people like John Brown and like a white man who led a Black slave rebellion. Like, come on now, let's be real. So the thing is that we have to stop whitewashing education. We have to put more prominent Black figures into education, and we need to start teaching teachers how to teach things that they usually wouldn't be comfortable with. Because if I walk up to one of my white teachers and I'm like, hey, let's have a really deep conversation about, you know, Black history and how things went in Africa and not here, because I'm getting tired of being taught about slavery. Like every Black History Month, it's Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and slavery. I'm getting tired of being taught this, right? I had to go out of my own way to learn about people like Anton Wilhelm Elmo, who was a German scholar, a Ghanaian-born German scholar in Germany, who graduated from the University of, I forget what the university was, but it was in Germany, and no one knows about him because no one does the research. I have to go out of my way to do the research that on things that I should be learning at school about Black history. You know what I mean? So I feel like we need to teach teachers how to teach their classes about Black people, because like you're not going to get rid of us. They tried a lot of times, but you're not going to get rid of us. So you're stuck with us. You might as well learn about us. You know what I mean? And we're learning about white people all the time, consistently. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. We learn about all these colonizers, but we don't ever get to learn about people that look like us, that did stuff for us.
That was such a great response. I love how real you kept it and how just blunt you were, because that's genuinely how it is. I literally this morning was talking about Black History Month with one of my white teachers, and he goes and says, "Oh, when's White History Month?" And I'm like, "Sir, that's all year. White History Month is every month, because that's all we are taught in schools." But yes, thank you so much for that answer. Another question that I have for you guys is, knowing that I know a lot of you guys come from predominantly white schools, how did you find that you were able to keep your Black excellence even surrounded by, you know, people who don't look like you, or people who, you know, you might not feel comfortable around? How were you still able to know your worth and kind of stick your ground?
I think it's just surrounding yourself with, you know, good people. At home, my mother's always, you know, always pushing Black history, Black everything. You know, she just pushes it for me. I actually have I have the grace to. I'm a part of the biracial. I have biracial parents, so I get the best of both worlds. So my mother's always pushing Black excellence. She's always, you know, the typical mother. But I think it's just people you surround yourself at school, outside of school, in your community that will allow you to be the person that you are and become a better self, become better.
Um, so coming from the Bay Area, it is very diverse, but my high school was predominantly like white. I went to Catholic high school. So even like in the midst of Oakland, California, I was surrounded by a lot of white people. And then when I got to SCSU, it was like even more. So in that, I know high school, I definitely had a little, I was like my freshman, sophomore year, kind of a little identity crisis. Not that I like totally lost my culture or anything, but it's just like, I was like, is this okay? Like, you know, like I just didn't feel okay with embracing myself. But then I realized I was like, this is what makes you unique. And people like you, even not that I'm trying to like be liked by anyone, but people appreciate you even more for being like authentically yourself. So I was like, I'm gonna be authentically Black. I'm going to wear my hair braids, hair and twists, hair natural, like speak about Black causes, surround myself by Black people, and just be authentically me and or unapologetically Black. It's like really like that mindset that I have. And I carried that into college. I know like I had white roommates my freshman year, and I would have those conversations in front of them. And I would be like, and I would let them know, like, you're going to be uncomfortable, but this is my reality. And like, you guys need to understand that like, that is how it is for me. And I just kind of walk around campus and walk around like just like with my life, just knowing that like my Blackness is what makes me unique and what makes me beautiful, is like just interconnecting like with myself and other communities. And I'm very proud of that. So I just think like for people that are kind of like struggling with embracing their Blackness, I just, again, be unapologetic about it. And just like always like never forget where you came from, because our ancestors didn't go through like what they had to do just for us to not embrace that today. So yeah.
Adding on to what Amira was saying, I just want to say that it's really important to embrace that Black excellence that you have. I know that for me and like at the school that I go to and with the kids that I've been going to school with for a very long time, that for some reason being Black can be a joke sometimes, or even just the color of your skin is a joke, or just where you come from, your culture is such a joke. But just knowing that, you know, there are at least a few other Black students that you go to school with, and that there is that community that you guys will pretty much always have because of the culture that you come from. And just knowing that you are always Black and excellent, and that they can't take that away from you.
For me, going back in high school, being an African, I used to get bullied a lot because I had an accent. And also, I didn't really know much about the US system and everything. So I used to get bullied a lot, and I was always closed up. And you always see me, I couldn't join any clubs or nothing. Before I left high school, I had to join softball. And even softball, I was always quiet till like my last year of high school. That's when I kind of had a little bit confidence. But going into college, I didn't know I'll be the president of the Associated Student Government by now, because I didn't have that much confidence. But getting into, I always say Umoja has kind of been like my foundation of finding my confidence and everything. So I always say, find a group of people like you. And I think that really helps. So just be yourself. Now I can walk into a class knowing I'm the only Black student with my head up, because I know everything they're saying they'll do, I can also do it. So always find your confidence and always try your best.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Amira said, there's, like I said numerous times before, I've always gone to like a predominantly white school, and it kind of just messes with you in a way, because it's like you begin to question yourself. It's like, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do this? Like, you know, like you want to fit in, but the only reason that you really want to fit in is so that you're accepted by other people. You don't have to be accepted by anyone. Oh, I'm sorry, am I lagging? Yeah, I think I'm lagging. But you don't have to be accepted by anyone. And you really have to come to an understanding that their acceptance of you is not required at all. So after I moved out of there, I moved to San Bernardino temporarily, and that's when I had my first life teacher, and she got me into being in a BSU, and that really kind of snapped me out of that mindset because being around Black people and just seeing all these Black people having fun and being themselves, it really got me into like my own skin. It's like I'd been pulled out of my own body and then put back in. And so now, I walk around and I do understand that I get looks when, especially when I'm in like more white parts of the city, like, maybe like up in Rancho Bernardo or like East Lake or something like that. And, I understand I get looks, but I'm proud of that because people are acknowledging that I'm Black. I don't care what they think of it, but they know I'm Black. They know I'm not like them. And, that's really just something just to be separate from everyone around you and be different is just really something that's beautiful to me.
This is beautiful. I just have to, take this pause and say that, Amira, Victoria, Jasmine, Jaden, Khalil, Kaiser, Zalia, you all are amazing. We are so proud of you. We really are. In a recent study, the Condition of Education 2020, it says that, our Black students are experiencing a lack of internet access at home. There's a high percentage of Black students who attend high poverty schools. The achievement gap isn't, getting any better. And I believe it was Victoria who mentioned our mental health, right? And the stigma that is connected to Black mental health. We have gone through a lot, right? That's an understatement with anti-Blackness and trauma, the racial battle fatigue. We call it the school-based racial battle fatigue. Our young people are suffering, yet you all are still here in all of your excellence. And I know that your journey has not been easy. So my question is, has your journey always been easy? Please explain and include how peers, teachers, or professors, coaches, advisors, and counselors have all played a role in this journey. And I'm going to just start with Kaiser. Go ahead, Kaiser.
Yeah. Well, I mean, firstly, you have to acknowledge that life on Earth in general is not easy, but life on Earth as a Black person is probably one of the hardest things that you will ever have to go through if you get to experience it. I don't care what anyone says. I personally believe that we are the most oppressed group of people on Earth. There is nowhere that you will go that you will not find a person that is willing to be racist toward you for being colored. Simple as that. But for me personally, it definitely has not been easy. It wasn't even easy for my parents or my grandparents. So I don't really know how I expected it to be easy for me as a Black person. And I came from them. Just with the United States government in general and the lack of assistance that Black people have to get housing and things like that. Like I was homeless at 9 years old, me, a 9-year-old child sleeping in the back of a truck, homeless. So the United States government needs to do like a lot better job. But we can't put all the blame on the government because we have to have some blame for ourselves. Black people need to start looking out for each other. Like really, like we need to stop having all this. I don't want to say it's senseless because at this point there's like a real genuine reason behind it, but it all started from things being senseless, like people just turning against each other for no reason. We need to stop killing each other first off. There is no way that we should be having all of these things happen in Chicago and in major cities with kids dying. You know what I mean? Like we need to stop killing each other, and we need to come to a sense of togetherness with each other because we, quite frankly, are going to destroy ourselves if we don't. And that's what they, and you know who they is, that's what they want. That's what they've done. They've weaponized us against each other. So we need to stop. We need to unify, and we need to be able to help each other out. Because why are we looking to them, and they're the ones that are oppressing us, to do for us what we can do for ourselves?
Thank you, Kaiser. Amira?
Yeah, it's like my journey through life. I was like my dad's like a single father, and himself, he was first generation college student. I think he's in here right now. So hi, dad. He's first generation college student. His parents are immigrants. So him having me, like he was learning how to be a parent, like as I grew up. So that was just like, I don't know, just and also just being a Black man in America, like I commend him for that and raising me. But just going like a Black woman in America, kind of like Kaiser said, just like being kind of like the most underrepresented demographic in America. It's been hard, even at my young age, just trying to come to myself in womanhood, but also like protecting myself as a Black woman. Just being at a PWI, like there's been times I feel unsafe, but going back to my little community on campus, just knowing that we are here together, and just like feeling that sense of community and union, and knowing that people like my home away from home love me, and that I'm strong. And then also just like through my 20s, well, I'm 20, so starting of my 20s, kind of just like coming in my self-confidence, and just being strong within myself, because like people are going to try to tear you down through like going throughout the world, going through college, and just having that confidence within yourself that you can do it. And as a Black woman and Black man, you can do it. And yeah, just knowing that you're never alone, even if you feel alone in your darkest days, that going back to what Kaiser said, like that togetherness, that we need to be there for each other. So yeah.
Thank you. Victoria.
I would say for me, it wasn't easy because I feel like, especially, I'll always say being African, you kind of get the African treatment and the African American treatment. So it's like you're dealing with both at the same time. So it was a really hard one for me. But I always say, find your confidence, always know that you can do it. And then always walk into a room knowing that whatever anyone else can do, you can do the same thing. That's the mindset I have in my head, the mindset I've been walking around all this while.
Thank you so much. Jaden.
I think it's just, you surround yourself with the best people you possibly can. At my school, some people, they throw small remarks out, small remarks that, regarding Black excellence on that stuff, just small remarks that sometimes hurt. But at the end of the day, you just got to keep pushing on. You go to your friends, your little group, and at the end of the day, they'll bring you up with positivity. You have to surround yourself with positive people. And, you don't want that negativity around you, because then that's going to brush off on you. And in the near future, you don't want that in your life. That's all I'm saying.
Excellent. Thank you. And Jasmine.
I would say my journey as a Black person has been it's been very interesting, especially when it comes to school, because that's kind of the place where everything kind of goes down. Yeah, kind of what Jaden was saying was just like those micro and macro aggressions that like non-Black students will say, or like they'll say remarks about you, they'll say remarks about other kids that are Black like you, and just everything like that. And also just being a Black girl, like it's almost like another layer to what like if I were to stand up, like it shouldn't be taken as seriously because I am a girl. And just it kind of sucks not being able to be heard because you're Black and a girl. But also at the same time, I am super happy to be a Black person, and I wouldn't give that up for anything. I'm very happy in the community that I have at the school, even though it might be small, and we have our BSU now. But yeah, I'm just, being Black it's just so many things. There's challenges, but it's also there's just so many amazing things about it as well.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. I'm going to turn it back over to Zalia, your peer, but you all are all amazing. And, at the beginning of this, Dr. Dorsey was playing young, gifted, and Black, and that's the fact. All of you are that. So, Zalia, thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have another question from our audience. So have any of you guys ever considered applying to an HBCU to kind of fill the gaps of high school, or just honestly, general
Oh, Zalia, you muted.
Oh, so sorry. Let me
Okay,
repeat the
good.
question one more time. Have any of you guys considered applying to an HBCU to kind of fill the gaps that you felt from high school or just gaps that you felt in your life in general? Sorry, I have younger siblings and they are very much running around right now.
I applied to Morehouse and I applied to Hampton University. I got accepted into Morehouse. I don't think I've heard back from Hampton, but I that's definitely one of my top schools still. I think I have a top three right now. Just being at an HBCU and pushing myself to be part of that community there. It's just it'd be a great place to be, basically.
I know I'm already in college, but when I was applying to college, I applied to Spelman and Howard, got into both. I actually got a scholarship to Howard, and kind of like to this day, I kind of kick myself for like not going, but it's okay. Like it was that out-of-state tuition that kind of got me. I was like, it is expensive. So I think that I wish there was more HBCUs like on the West Coast, because if there was one in California, I would have totally have gone. But I think if you can go to HBCU, like that is an amazing experience. And if you don't, like it's okay. You can always go like for homecoming weekend. I think my friends are going to go next year. So I think that that's just a beautiful experience, like being around Black people that look like you, have the same aspirations. So if you're able to go, definitely go. But if not, like I think like even though like I'm at a PWI, I still see value in it, because even though I'm far or few on campus, I think that's what like separates me from a lot of people, and it gives me the ability to stand out even more. So yeah.
You know what? Thank you, Amira. No, Zalia, you go first.
Oh no, I was just gonna thank her for what she said. That was perfect. And congratulations for both Amir and Kaiser for getting into those schools like at all. That's such a big accomplishment.
Thank you.
Yes, Amira and Jaden. And so what we also want to say too, especially for those colleges who are listening, it's really important that we start looking at predominantly Black institutions getting funding for PBIs. I know we have funding for our HSIs, our Hispanic serving institutions, and our ANAPESIs, but one of the things that we do have to consider, and Amira brought up a great point, on the West Coast, it is hard for our West Coast students to get into these HBCUs, even when they're accepted, because of the tuition, the out-of-state tuition, and some of them are, private institutions. So you're paying for the private tuition, private school tuition, plus the, room and board. So we have to start considering other alternatives, right? And looking at pathways, creating pathways for our students here to go to HBCUs as well. So thank you for pointing that out, Amira. I know it's 4:24. We have 6 more minutes with these brilliant Black students. So we just want to ask all of you to just share something that we may have missed, about your own experience or your journey or something. Give us one thing that you think we should walk away from this panel with. Give us one, concept of advice, because you've done an excellent job already. Amira, I'll start with you.
I think there was a lot of great things addressed. I think you guys hit all the points. I think just one thing I want to highlight is for high school students and even college students, really in your transition to college, and if you're in college now, please take the time to get to know yourself. I think it's really important to be comfortable with yourself and be comfortable with being alone, because that is what's going to make and break you in college. There's going to be times where you're going to be alone. Going to be times when you're just like, honestly, like you can like go through depression, like so just please take time to get to know and love yourself, and that's what's going to pull you out of those dark times. And also that's what's going to make you feel comfortable with being like underrepresented on campus. That's going to make you feel like confident to reaching out to other people on campus. So please build that confidence and love yourself. And yeah.
I'll go next. On another note, quick thing, Khalil apologizes for his internet connection. He just texted me. He said he wouldn't be able to be here for the remainder. He wished he would, but internet connection issues. The one thing I want people to take away is, and someone quoted it in chat actually, that ignorance is a choice. You do not have to be ignorant. That is like the number one thing. Like if you take home anything, it's that you do not have to be ignorant. You do not have to be ignorant, and you have the power to educate other people and stop them from being ignorant. Now, if they reject your education and what you're trying to teach them, that's their choice. Like I said, ignorance is a choice. And that's why you have a lot of people running around here that just don't know what they're talking about because they choose to be ignorant. It's not something that's just like genetic. You have a functioning brain and you have the internet. Like that's where, like we're in the age of the internet. You have so much information easily at your fingertips. Even if you want to do it old school, you can go to a library and get books on Black history, or you can join organizations that teach you about Black history. So if you want to take away anything, it's that ignorance is 100% a choice.
For me, I would say one advice I have for especially high schoolers is that find your representation, especially going to college. It's going to be hard for you because we all know California schools has a lot of white people. So I was checking all these percentages and we're like 3%, 4%. So always find those 4% and so you can fit in and it will make your life more easier. Trust me.
For me, it'd be just don't forget your roots. Don't let anyone have push you to change yourself. Be the person that you want to be. Be the person that be the person your parents build up. They gave you their mindsets, their what they want you to do, and you take that and you be that yourself. You be that and you build off of that. And your future is your future. Don't let anyone change
that. I think one piece of advice that I want people to take away from this panel is to not be ashamed about being Black and being who you are and coming from where you come from, and also to stand up when things are not right, either whether that's at your school, high school or college, or even in real life, like on the street or something, just to be able to have that dignity and that heart within you to want to stand up against something that isn't right. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys for your answers. I will definitely be taking note of those. Everything you guys said, I will be taking to heart and I appreciate so much. We're running super short on time, but I wanted to ask one last really, really quick question. I know we talked about a lot of the ways that our school kind of negatively impacts us, but I was wondering if you guys had any sort of positive things that you like that your school does, or anything that you feel like your school does well to kind of accommodate to your needs, or honestly, anything that I can kind of steal to bring to my school, because we are in desperate need of ways to honor Black students. But thank you guys all again for being here. I'm so incredibly thankful that I got to ask you guys questions and learn from you guys. But yeah, if anyone wants to take the last question.
One thing that I can say is just consistency. If you have a Black student union, as vice president of my Black student union, we have meetings every week. We have 2 cabinet meetings every week and have a general meeting every Friday. So consistency and making sure that you get the targeted demographic of people that you want in there, because our target demographic at the Black Student Union is the people that are more going towards the school to prison pipeline. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. People that are kind of, in worse surroundings than us, and who hang around people that are not so there. So we try to target those people and make sure that they understand, like where they come from, and teach them about Black history, because I personally believe that the reason that a lot of people like that just aren't interested in school at all is because there's no incentive for them to be interested in school. And that goes back to me saying that we need to teach Black history more. Like if you're in school and all you see is white people, as a Black person, you're probably going to be tired of it after a certain point, and that disinterest causes people to kind of go astray. And so we want to teach people about Black history and things like that, and get them reinterested back into school so they can go to a college or HBCU and succeed in life, and up in, like I said, the school to prison pipeline.
Awesome. Everyone, holy cow. Simply amazing. All of you. I love seeing every single face on this screen. Proud of you. Understand, Black History Month is in February. Black excellence is 365, 24/7. Right? On behalf of San Diego County Office of Ed, NAACP, we thank you. Zalea, amazing. 2 sessions with you, fantastic. This was the way to wrap it up with our young excellence. Our future is bright. Keep shining. We thank you all for coming and staying with us with the little extra time we have. And of course, we are leaving it with Miss Jill Scott. Golden Bear.